Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm so excited. Finally, we're here today. Welcome. If you can see me, please let me know. If you can see my face and you hear my voice, let me know. Or if you have any issues getting into the webinar, also let me know. So I'm going to give everyone a little bit of information or a little bit of time to introduce yourself in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from. Share this live with your friends as well. We're just going to give a few minutes and wait for a few more people before we start. So what's your name? Where are you joining from? Just leave it in the comments. Who is going to be the first person to introduce themselves? If you can hear me, actually let me know that you can actually hear me. Share the live with your friends. What is your name? And where are you joining from? Okay, so I see a few more people joining. Makinde here. Oh God. Thank you for being the first person. Thank you. You're also welcome. You're from Vancouver. Ontario people, how can you let Vancouver people to be the first people to say hello and to join the live? So wait for a few more people. More of you should tell us your name, where you're joining from. Your name, where you're joining from. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. We won't waste too much time. Okay, so while I'm waiting for you to introduce yourself, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Sheyo Basi, and this channel is called Don't Go Broke TV. And this is a channel where we talk about, money, finance, and how to live a rich life in Canada. We also share money management tips for you to save money, tips for you to also grow money. And this webinar that we're doing today is also in line with that, to help us save money when it comes to buying cars in Canada. Yeah. And if you've lived in Canada a bit, you also know that getting a car is not a luxury. It's almost a necessity. Yeah. Because the transport system in some places is not so great. Yeah. And if you have a family or you need to move from one place to the other, you do need a car. And what most people problem is they don't have the monies to buy a car upfront. So today we're going to be sharing smart financing tips on how you can get a car in Canada and save thousands of dollars. That's what we're going to be talking today. And we do have a guest who is a car dealer, very experienced, and he will also be walking us through everything that we need to know when it comes to financing a car, smart financing tips in Canada. I'm going to bring our guest on stage. So guys, like I said before, we do have a guest in the house. His name is Uche, and like I told you, he'll be sharing with us some smart tips and strategies to finance a car in Canada. We've been getting quite a bit of questions, especially from newcomers in Canada, asking how they can purchase a car, what they can look out for, how do they qualify for financing, and stuff like that. He's going to be answering all of these questions. So as we go along, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. We'll answer each and every one of your questions. And I'm sure by the end of this live, you have every information you need about smart financing. So Uche, thank you for joining us today. So can you just introduce yourself, what you do, and we'll just start with the questions that we have.
Yeah, thank you, Shay. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you for inviting me to your channel, and welcome our viewers and audience. Thank you for having me today. Like you said, I'm an experienced car dealer. I've been in the industry over 10 years. Currently licensed and registered to sell and to buy car in Ontario and all across Canada. And today we're looking to get a lot of people, especially new immigrants, on the road, so they can have affordable car, the right car for their family and for whatever they need it for.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. So we're going to talk about how to get a car. So I'll just dive in with the first question. So when people are looking for a good car, someone like me, I don't even know what to look for. So what should they be looking for? And what are the key things to consider when you want to buy a car?
So thank you for that. Looking for a car can be a lot of it can take a toll on a lot of people. Sometimes people just go on website and then they're not sure what to go for, especially in this age where information is out there. But the challenge is, do you know the right thing to get, and are you getting the right thing? The easiest way that I've seen people go get a car is just jump on Facebook and see who is selling and what. But over the years, I've from stories of customers, I've seen a lot of people make a lot of big mistakes and big issues, and especially for new immigrants who are not used to the system over here. They prefer to still do things the traditional way, and I don't
Okay.
see a lot of them come to dealership and take advantage of getting a very reliable car. So going with a dealership is still the best way to get a car, because the dealership one first is regulated by the government, right? And they will save a customer or any client the hassle of going into a wrong decision. And
Mm,
there's one myth that I just want to correct out there. Most people, especially new immigrants, they think about financing a car as something no go area. They're like, I don't want to get into big debt. No, it's just because of the mindset of where they're coming from or how things are being done over where they're coming from, where you do just cash deals. But
yeah.
in the system, you want to understand that things are the system is very accountable and is very integrated. So that's why financing is part of the best way to get a car. In fact, when I was doing some research recently, I found out that 70% of cars driven in Canada are financed.
Mm,
Can you imagine that? So that
mm,
means the rest 30% who are not driving, you probably are not driving the right car. So the
mm.
system has already made itself that this is the best way to get a car. And if you are going to be very progressive with whatever car you want in life, this is the best way, right? So
Okay.
that's one myth I just wanted to clarify. There's another myth that, oh, I don't want to be paying monthly and weekly.
Mm,
Actually, in reverse, going for a finance deal or financing a car makes you save a car in a long save money in a long run. Myself, I've been an example of it. I remember a long time ago when I wanted to get a car. I went on a I I went on financing. I financed that car for like 60 months. That's 5 years. At the end of that 5 years, in fact, the feeling when I started was like, oh my God, looking at my community, not a lot of people do that.
mhm,
But at the end of that 5 years, I sold that car what I bought it. I built my credit. I was
mm,
able to go on to get a house then because my credit was built. And think about it, if I wasn't paying that money monthly, I could have been spending it somewhere else.
mm.
Again, I was driving a very good car at that time. So you can see that the system kind of encourages that and protects people. So when 70% are doing something, then
Mm.
it's probably is right than the 30%. So you asked me a question. I just wanted to divert to that just to clarify
Yeah.
the best way of getting a car is through financing. And the
Mhm.
best place you can do financing is through a dealership like our own dealership. And in case if you're looking to do that, you can quickly, I know Shay is going to mention that later on, you can quickly go to our website, agamschariots.com. On the homepage, just hit the button pre-approve and then just fill out the form. We're going to reach out to you to continue the process. So, but that's aside, there are just traditional way and normal ways that people do get a car. First thing that I've seen a lot of customers make a lot of mistake is that when they come, they don't even know the value of what they are trying to get. Yes, you want to get a CRV 2017. Do you know the market value? Do you know what it's going for? And most times I've seen people give out a ridiculous price and say, this is my budget. But I usually encourage people and say, try and go understand what the market is. What is this car selling out there? So if you're even getting a car, you're getting a good deal. You know whether you're getting a good deal. What is the benchmark of what you're trying to do? I usually refer people to Auto Trader. This is one of the
Mm.
biggest site out there that you can look at for cars and see what cars are sold, right? But not necessarily you can always get good deals here, but it gives you a fair understanding of what you're actually looking for, right? Because almost
Mm.
all kinds of cars are in those platforms, right? So that's the first thing I tell people: go on and understand the value of the car that you're getting into. Now, there's another aspect which getting a car through a dealership does that an average person can most times, except you're in the industry, you don't understand that, is to
Okay.
understand the car you're going for. Every car has a history. This is where the biggest mistake happen.
Okay.
Usually, people will write on their ad on Facebook, Kijiji, wherever you're getting car in perfect condition, in good condition. Says who?
Mm.
This is where going through a dealership matters,
Mm.
because we have systems whereby we can go into the parts of the car from the day the car was released from the manufacturer to the owners of those cars. We can see what has been done through that car. Is it an accidented car? Is it a salvage car? Has there been a rebuild on the car? Has there been consistent maintenance on the car? We see all those histories of the car, and we consider these things, having in mind industry standards even before we sell car. That's why when I started, I said we are regulated by ONVIC. ONVIC is Ontario Motor Vehicle Industry
Mm.
Council. So every dealer is being regulated. We have due due diligence to do whatever car we sell to the public. So we have a platform whereby we can track these things about a car, right?
Yeah.
Just like your name, yeah, is Shane. Every
Yeah.
car has a name and it's called a VIN.
Yeah.
With that VIN, we have a system we can track what has happened to the car. Is it a good car to buy? Does it really worth it? So this
Mm.
is one big advantage why you want to go to a dealer, right? So I've mentioned understanding the car value, try to get the market value, what it means, the condition of the car, right? I just mentioned that.
Mhm.
Thirdly, I usually tell people set a budget, right?
Yeah.
Um, try to know where you are, and this is my logic and my concept. I say car is a progressive property. Buy where you are at life, right? If you cannot afford the big car that you want, why not go for finance, right? So understand your budget and what you can. And in finance, we usually advise people. We look at how much do you earn monthly, how much is your house, and how much is can you, because car is usually the second largest expenses apart from your house. And so we consider that too is also an industry standard, that we don't bog your budget over 50% of what you should be paying in car payments,
Okay.
right? So we want you to understand that aspect, your budget. Now, there's also the need of the car. What do you need the car for? If you need
Mm.
a car from point A to B just for work, grocery, and back and forth, why do you want to go get a Lamborghini? Right? It's for a necessity, like how you said. Why not go for something that can last you for now?
Yeah.
And especially from people from my descent, we try to buy cars and internal access, use it for
Mm.
5 years, 10 years. No, you don't have to, right? I've seen a lot of people that change car every year. There's nothing that stops you, and that's why in dealership there is a provision for what you call trading. So you can drive in a car for a year, and then you're like, okay, it's time to move on. I'm a little bit financially buoyant. We bring in the car, we assess the car, praise the car, and then um, we put it into the new car you want to get, the value of it, and that reduces the price of what you're trying to get, right?
Mm.
So that's one aspect of it. Understand what do you need the car for. And then the one I already talked about is the condition of the car, which we do a due diligence. Most people don't have those knowledge and expertise to understand what a car is, how
Yeah.
good a car that you're getting. So I'll just stop here. There's a lot of things we can talk about here.
Okay, that's good. So, from what you've said so far, it's important to know the condition of the car, the history of the car. You have a budget, yeah? Work with your budget, and you know what you need the car for. Okay, so I wanted to ask something. So, a lot of people who might want the cars might be newcomers who don't have a credit score. So,
Yeah.
what role does a credit score play in car financing? And if someone is a newcomer in Canada, how can they get around the credit score issue?
Okay. Yeah, I've had recently people in those shoes who doesn't have a lot of credit. Luckily, there are some companies right now who are absorbing clients like that who understand that they don't have a lot of credit score. In reverse, um, they try to ask for more deposit, right? Unlike other people who has a good credit and good job. But one good thing is that you have to prove that you can pay for it, which is a good job letter, right?
Mhm.
And a paycheck, and then they can absorb it. So that's one way around that. Another way is that why not go for something cheaper? 1 year, I usually advise them 1 year, 2 years, and then you can bounce back and get a better car. And sometimes, in fact, there's a client of mine that he could actually pay off for the car he went. It was a very affordable car, but he paid like 80% of that car, and then the remaining 20% he financed it. The reason why we took that strategy is that he's building his credit with that particular company that approved them. So after 1 year, he could come back and say, okay, I now want a better car. And that, at that time, he has had a better credit score. And let me also tell you something why it's very important. There are a few things that build your credit apart from your credit card and other than car financing builds it very crazily.
Mm.
So yeah, if somebody get into car financing and you can prove within a year that you can pay this without missed payment, you're taken very seriously.
Mm.
Yeah.
So when it
So
comes to car financing, is there any, usually it's like, I don't know, 5 years. Is there any best length of time to have it? Is it best to have it for like 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years? Or the longer the better, or the shorter the better? Which one?
well, depending on the car,
Okay.
most best banks and best financing companies go for 5 years, right? The newer cars are usually 5 years, right?
Mhm.
The longer the years, the shorter the payment. That's another trick to it. So it depends on you. Most times when we get clients approved, we give them options of do you want to pay a little bit highly for shorter years or low for longer years. The more I've seen in the industry is 60 months. That's 5 years, right? And
Mm.
sometimes you have option to pay it off. So nobody even stops you after one. Some people say, if some finance companies say, okay, you have to hold it for 1 year, and after that, you have the liberty to pay it off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good. So, are there specific times of the year when it's best to buy a car? If so, when and why?
Okay. Well, summer now, a lot of people are in the market getting cars. That's the
Mhm.
best season for dealers, because we prepare for the summer months when people can come around and test cars and have choices. So summer is the busy month. But really, when is the best time to buy? It doesn't really, environmentally or climate wise, it doesn't really look favorable. Winter months are usually best, especially after the Christmas when people are broke.
Mm.
So
Really?
people have, after Christmas, January, people have spent all their money in Christmas gift and all that. yeah, there are a lot of more deals out there at that time. And
Hmm.
if you're a smart buyer, you can take advantage of it, especially private deals. We dealers, we also have ways we can get car. But interestingly, most of our inventories doesn't come from private deals. It comes through auctions, and we still have our deals during that time too.
Okay, so the winter time is the best.
It is usually, especially after the
Really?
Christmas. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
So when it comes to car financing, what are the common mistakes that people make when financing a car, and how can they avoid them? Is there any? Do the dealers have some tricks up their sleeves? What are the mistakes that people make, and how can people be aware and avoid them?
Well, first of all, that's why I mentioned the checklist of getting a car. Understand
Yeah.
the value of your car, right? Sometimes when you don't understand the value of the car, what is being sold, you probably might be sold overpriced, right?
Hmm.
So, but there is also a checkpoint in the industry, especially with the finance company, that before a finance company or a bank can approve a car loan, they have what you call a black book of the value of the car. It's like a benchmark of what the car worth in the industry. So usually they don't approve more than that, more than the worth of the car, right?
Hmm.
So that's um, I think the government and the regulatory body is helping in that. Before it used to be that bad that people don't understand the value of the car and they pay twice in that. And usually also it is better to go with I would say the big banks and the big finance companies than private lenders, because those ones are not widely regulated.
Hmm.
Also understand the terms of the of your contract,
Yeah.
right? Understand that some terms are very strict, that if you miss a payment twice, your car is being repossessed and you're indebted. So you have to understand that. And also
Hmm.
the term. And I mentioned about the clause of you have the liberty to pay it off.
Yeah.
Some finance company can say, okay, after 6 months, you can pay it off. So
Okay.
read the fine prints, like they will say.
Yes, very
Yeah.
important. Fine prints, very important to read the fine prints. So, um, let me get back to everyone who is watching. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're getting value so far. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. Do you have any questions about buying a car? Are you trying to finance a car? Are you confused about, what to buy a car? Do you have a particular amount in mind and you want to know what kind of car you will get? Whatever questions you have, just leave them in the comments, and Uche will definitely answer and get back to you. Okay, so also the website is on the screen. Like you said, Uche, they can go there and put in their details and pre-qualify, right? They can know how much they can get for financing. So guys, you can use the website below. And of course, their contact details are also there for you to contact them. So I know that you said you are licensed not just in Ontario, but other places. So if someone is in another province, because we do have people from other provinces, how would they be able to, if they contact you, would you be able to help them as well?
So the good thing in the industry is that we are networked. If I'm a dealer here, I have dealers all across the provinces of Canada. In fact, I recently had a client from Alberta who wanted a car, and I'm already looking for the car for her at the auctions. And I have dealer over there that I also get car and deal with. Because the interesting thing about dealers is that we exchange cars, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
this network has already been built.
Mm-hmm.
So we can easily get you to go to another dealer and get another car, and the whole transaction is still coordinated by me. So that doesn't stop anything. You
Oh,
can also be an approved, like, okay, I had a customer that was last month who was approved financing from another dealer, but saw the car he wanted to get from our own dealership. And we completed that transaction. So that's the
oh,
cool thing about this industry. We're very integrated and it's easy to navigate. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we have some questions in the comments. Makinde is asking, can you change or increase your payment amount along the line with car financing? So if your income increases, will they
Yeah.
allow you to pay more?
Yes, there are a lot of, like I said, the big banks have this flexibility in their financing options. You can increase it. I know five banks that we use. They give that most of them say 6 months. After 6 months, then you can
Yeah,
make
you
changes. Yeah,
can change it. Okay, great.
yeah.
Um, okay. Do you finance a student without a job?
It can be very really hard. There are financing companies like that, but sometimes it might be a little bit higher rate
Mhm.
because you don't have a job and they require um, over 50% deposit of the car, right? And if you're in their shoe, you have to understand, right?
Yes,
What can
yes.
what will you hold as a collateral for a student, right, who doesn't have a job? So I usually advise people in this: save up a little bit, get a little car, and then, like I said, if you want to build your credit, pay a
Mhm.
larger percentage of the car, and the little percent of it is just finance. It can be $1,000 and you're just paying $100 monthly. It's just counting into your building of your credit.
Yes. So yes. So Caleb, I think the best thing is actually to get a job so that
Mhm.
they are more comfortable giving. Even if it was you, you will not be comfortable with giving a car to someone who doesn't have a job.
Yeah,
So
that's
maybe
right.
you just look for a car you can actually afford. Maybe pay upfront, and
Yeah,
then later you now go for the financing. Yeah.
that's right.
So there's another question here. How much money I need to buy a car which I can use for deliveries or Uber as a new student coming to Ontario next month?
How
And
much
also,
money?
let me even put some, let me put, is there any, I don't know, that's might probably not be your expertise. People who want to do deliveries or Uber,
Okay.
like are there particular cars they should buy, particular year,
Yeah,
all of that?
of course. There are.
Okay,
I think Uber right now usually require cars not greater than 10 years in
10
year.
years.
Yes, so they want a better car and a sound car. Well, you also want to go for very fuel efficient. I've seen a lot of Uber drivers who drive hybrid.
Hmm.
So for gas reasons, Toyotas and Hondas, Chevrolets, these are most of
Hmm.
the cars that we've sold. They are all for delivery and hustle drivers and all that. Yeah. So we can get all these cars. Yeah, these kinds of cars. Yeah.
So he's asking, is that how much, maybe he wants to have an idea of how much he should have, like the budget and all of that.
Well, it still depends on the market price.
Hmm.
Yeah, what does the car want? If you want a 2017 Honda Civic, you should go take a
Hmm.
look maybe in Auto Trade and find out how much do you sell it, because those websites are there for you to see how much it's going
How
for, and
much?
then
Yeah.
you have,
So
yeah,
I will give you an
and then
idea for how to
idea,
plan.
yeah, how much it is. Yeah.
Okay. Good. 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 Guys, if you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments and we'll answer your questions. So I wanted to ask this question. So when someone buys a car, there's a registration process.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what are the other things that you need to do in terms of, okay, you need to buy your plate number, I think, and register. Can you walk us through that process? And is it the same with other provinces?
Yes, mostly all across Canada is kind of the same. I think Quebec is a little bit different. Quebec
Okay.
doesn't require certification of your car like Ontario. They make you go through safety standards. The first thing that shows that you own a car is the ownership. In fact, that's the bill of sale. That it kind of represents that a car has been transferred from one entity to another. That's the ownership. That's the most important document of a car. It shows that who owns this car. So if you're getting a car, selling a car, that's the first document you get is an ownership. You get a copy of yours, and then you go to the ministry and register it into your name, right? Then the good thing is that the dealer helps you do this. You don't have to go
Okay.
through those processes because we already
Mhm.
have alliance with the ministry. We have their papers and we can fill out those things because they trust us. We all government agencies, right?
Okay.
So it's easier. So that part will help you with it. The certification, the government of Ontario requires that every car that is going from one point to another is sales, like exchanging, transferring from one person to another, go through a safety condition. So it's a licensed mechanic who goes through the car and certify that this car is good enough to apply the road of Ontario's, and they give you a safety certificate, right?
Mm,
So you're also in good hands if you go through dealers because we know what the government.
okay. We can hear audio. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, please drop it in the comments, and you can go to the website to pre-qualify, yeah, to see if you qualify for financing, for car financing. The website is on the screen for you to go to. Okay.
Can you hear me
Yeah, I
now?
think the audio is back. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my mic just went off. Yeah, I just
Okay.
replaced it. Okay, sorry guys. So I was talking about the registration process of a car. I've
Yes.
talked about the ownership, which is the most important document that you own the car, and then the safety certificates. For
Mhm.
Ontario, Quebec doesn't require safety certificate, but most other provinces do require. There is the insurance because every car is required to be insured in Ontario. That you have to get from your insurance or your banks or insurance company, and then your driving license. So for Ontario, you're required to have a minimum of G2 license to
Mm.
register a car, right? So these four pieces of documents, you can register a car. You can do it individually yourself, walk into the ministry with these four documents and register it. Some people, in the past, I've seen some people say they drive the car to the ministry for the ministry to see, no, we don't have to see
No,
it.
you don't.
Just the document gives you
Yeah.
access to register the car. If you do it through the dealership, you don't even have to visit the ministry. You just come
Yeah.
in and then go with all the documents. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing, yes. So if you buy through a dealership, you don't do anything. You just come, they give you everything, all your papers, give you a
that's
plate
right.
number, everything. You
That's
don't need
right.
to do anything. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. So I just wanted to you to help tell people where they can find you. The website is on the screen. Do you have a phone number? When they go to the website, what do they expect to see there? How do they fill out the pre-qualify form and all
Yeah.
of that?
Yes. So our website is the best way to get in touch with us. It helps us to track our traffic because we have a lot of people do contact us, so we know we are going to reach back to you. Especially now we are just promoting car financing. Just go on our homepage www.anyamscharage, like you have on your screen.com. You will see the homepage, get pre-approved, fill out that form if you are going for a car financing. So
Mm-hmm.
it asks you a couple of some questions. It's just so we understand your choices and what you're looking for, and then we will get back to you. If you want to sell your car or you want to do a cash deal, you can click the second button which says "Sell my car," and then fill
Okay.
out that form. It's a shorter form. We also reach out to you. That's the best way. I have handles on Instagram. It's Anyam's Chariot. You can message me on that too. We also have our business number on our website. You can also reach out to me.
Okay, so great. So, guys, if you go to the website, all the information is there. If you fill out the form, they will definitely call you. So, just be rest assured, you fill out the form, leave your phone number and your email or whatever information, they will get back to you. So, as we're rounding up, we basically have given all the advice that someone who will need, especially newcomers when it comes to financing a car.
Yeah.
And a lot of newcomers are coming to Canada at this point. So guys, if you need a car, please go to that website. And if you have any questions as well, you can reach him on Instagram at aniamscharrot.com, and I guess on their website as well, and ask all your questions. Yeah. Yeah, so as we round up, probably just to one more piece of advice, something just to encourage people who are trying to, finance a car, because of where some of us are coming from. When you talk of financing, sometimes
Yeah.
it can be scary. They will think, you can think all sorts of things, but it's a rather simple process because I've also gone through it.
Yeah.
I was even surprised at how simple it is. Yes. So just one last piece of advice, and also one last word for everyone who is watching today.
Yeah. So it's an easy process. It
Yeah.
makes one good thing I love about North America is that services are giving access to the middle class. So car
Hmm.
financing is one way that you could drive the car of your dream and a good car for you. And the also good thing about it is that you can progress and upgrade in your cars. There's some people, if you don't get into car finance, you're probably not going to drive a new car in your life.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. Because even a rich man will not take out thousands of dollars to go buy cars. They just
Hmm.
tell you that's how the system is being
Yeah.
designed, that you can have access to these things. You just have to show trust to make your payment, and the car still belongs to you, right?
Yeah.
Um, so you can avert some of the issues of having older used cars, their repairs. In fact, I wanted to share a story in the beginning. I forgot about it. A client that just went and bought a private deal. I
Hmm.
don't think he used the car for a couple or a year, and then the transmission went, and then the client was calling me back. But it's
Hmm.
just to tell you there is danger out there that you can
Yeah.
avoid going through a dealership, right? We do this due diligence to understand the car. Just a transmission or an engine problem can wreck can wreck a whole dollars out there, right? So you're still best to go through a dealership like us, and we're here to support you in your journey of getting good car and being on the road. Interesting
Yeah.
fact again, there are 26 million cars in Canada driving on the road. So you
Hmm.
can be one of them. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
yes. And sometimes when you want to do the private thing, if after a few months something happens, you cannot go back and tell them to give you your money back.
That's
But if it's
right.
a deal, at least you can go there with the car and be like, see the car you gave me, look at what happened. Yes, because because they are licensed and there's an office and all of that. So that's usually the advantage of using a dealer rather than doing a private deal, right? So,
That's
so
right. I
guys,
mean,
yeah. So I hope that everyone, you have a bit more information. If you still have questions, you can leave them. Someone is asking if you have warranty for the cars.
yes. Uh, I was going to talk about that. Then the person just got it from my mouth. Yeah. So we mitigate some of this risks by we have a lot of warranties that cover up some of those things. There are warranties that cover the powertrain of the car, which is the engine, the transmissions. So you just drive with a peace of mind. If anything
Yeah.
happens to it, you just drive down to the dealership. These things are changed free of charge because you've
Yes.
paid the warranty. Yeah. So there are
Uh,
so many options for you to drive a smooth car, and then you don't have to worry. Yeah,
It's true, guys. So if the car has any issue, just drive it to them there. They will change it. But if it's a private deal, you can't do that. You can't buy my car and bring it back. It's You're buying it as it is and carrying all the wahala. Okay.
that's right.
So this has been a very, very insightful and educative session, guys. And you must admit that you have learned something. So please don't forget to like the video. If you have learned something, share the live with your friends. Check out also all the other videos we have on the channel. We talk about money, how to save money. Yeah. So if you use this car dealership, you finance your car, you're saving yourself thousands of dollars in many ways, including repairs and maintenance that you would not have had to do if you went through a dealership. And you also get this financing option. So you can also pay from your job. As you get money from your job, you can continue to pay, right? So in the absence of any more questions, let me just check if there's any more questions. Thank you very much for all your nice comments. Everybody's saying good job and they're thanking you, Uche, for enlightening them. So, in the absence of more questions, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and watch out for upcoming live when we share more money management tips with you. Thank you and bye.